All right, guys, welcome back to another one of Lucky Strike Living. We are mangrove snapper fishing, and the bite is pretty good. So what we're doing, we're using a 1/8 ounce jig head, 15-pound test mono, fluorocarbon leader, and we are slowly letting it sink to the bottom, kind of like yellowtailing. We are almost at our limit. These guys are wearing them out. Well, at least some of them are. Oh, looks like we got one right now. Good timing. Rip, what do you think? Oh, that's good. Don't reel anymore. Swing it right to you. Nice. Beauty, beauty, beauty. That's good. I'll get him. Mwah. Alright, so the technique we're doing is a little bit like yellowtail. It's 62 feet deep, and we're trying to get it to about 40 feet. And once we get it to 40 feet, we start to slow it down. Oh, once it gets to about 55, it's game on. Rip, come here. Here, place. Oh, it's game on. Beauty. You can throw them in the live well if you're having trouble with them, right here. You miss one? Yep, nice and easy. Slow on the way up, slow on the way down. That's good. Oh, another gag. Gotcha.
We're down there.
Pretty gag. Yo. Oh, you got one too? Mangrove bite is good. I think this is a pretty good one, Darren. Ooh, that's good. Swing right to me.
I think that's bigger than Tyler's.
Oh, mangy.
I just go after the big ones. I don't play with the little ones. That's why you don't see
Get
me.
over here. Oh, goodness. So I thought I'd go into a little bit more in-depth description of what exactly we're doing. We've been chumming at this spot for about 20-25 minutes, and these bigger mangrove snapper will start to come up into the water column. And if you send a typical chicken rig, which is a heavy weight, down to the bottom, you're going to bypass most of the bigger fish. So according to the bottom machine, these big mangroves were up off the bottom about 15 feet. So what you want to do is slowly send your bait, which we've got pilchards or shrimp, to about that 45-foot number, which is right in the middle of the school of these mangrove snapper. And once you get to that depth, you really want to slow it down and let that shrimp or pilchard swim around right where they want to be. And typically when you get them chummed up, it's pretty simple. Help him, Rip. Ooh, nice mangy. Rip, here, Rip. So if you come on enough charters with me, you'll realize how much I love sending down a GoPro to see exactly what kind of fish are on the bottom and how they're behaving. This is about 62 feet of water, and as soon as this GoPro hits the bottom, you'll be able to see all of the different fish: porkfish, sheephead, mangrove snapper, hog snapper, and you'll see way off in the distance those bigger mangroves are up in the water column, which is exactly what the bottom machine is showing me, which you'll see right now. You'll see all those big streaks up 10, 15, even 20 feet off the bottom. Those are those big mangroves that we're catching, and they're feeding on the chum, and of course they're also feeding on chum that have hooks in them. But you see it's just a small crack, little ledge, which is all that these fish need to survive and live. I'm going to let this video run just a little bit so you can see the fish that are in the area and what this piece of bottom looks like. I think it's super cool. I won't let it go for too long, but enjoy. If you can, turn your volume way up and you'll hear a small hum. That hum is the live well pump in my boat, 66 feet above that GoPro right there. This is a big reason why I don't really like loud music on any of my charters. These fish hear you and they know that you're there. And it might be superstitious or not, but I think every little bit helps. And if that live well pump is that noticeable, imagine how noticeable loud music would be. And I know probably some of you are going to say, well, your live well pump is loud. I promise you it's not. One of the big reasons why I like to send GoPros down is especially when the bite is not quite right, or things aren't going the way as planned. Here's a quick video of the first spot we stopped at, and very similar to the first one, a ledge, and we did not catch a single mangrove. Chummed and chummed and chummed and just could not get things going. So I sent the GoPro down, same depth, 62 feet, and look at all the mangrove snapper. Super high in the water column, big ones. Everything looks pretty similar to the second spot, which was the first video you saw. And You know, sometimes it doesn't work out. But with the GoPro's help, I can clearly see that there are plenty of fish there, and I might come back to this spot later or the next day, because these fish are definitely here. As you can see, gag grouper, scamp grouper, mangrove snapper, and I'm going to show you a quick clip here in just a second of why I think the snapper weren't necessarily biting so good. And there he is, the dreaded Goliath grouper, ready to pounce on anything you hook. Mangrove snapper, gag grouper, they will eat it all. And you'll get to see him chase a fish right now. And off he goes. More than likely we hooked a mangrove snapper or a gag grouper up in the water column. And if you're not an expert fisherman, getting your fish away from them is almost impossible. And how do I know he ate our fish? Well, look outside his mouth. That is my weight, you stinker. I drifted just a little bit off of this spot to see if we could pull the mangrove away from the ledge, and he decided to follow us. Goliaths are extremely curious and will come up to anything, and I got a couple cool clips of him swimming super close to the GoPro. Greatest fisherman of all times. Not bad. Open the bail, close the bail, fumble rooski, this is that, nope, up. This fish had your name written all over it.
Not bad.
That is not, look at all the chums.
Not a bad fish.
That's a beauty. Absolute beauty. Pretty fish. What do you think, mister? We're done. See you, buddy. Alright guys, that's a limit. Mangrove snapper. Nice job. Nice cooler full. Beautiful morning. See you guys in the dock. What's up, guys? We are in the kitchen. It is the day after that awesome snapper bite that you just saw, and my customers were nice enough to give us 4 nice mangroves. And before we start cooking, I'm going to show you guys how I fillet it. Not saying it's the right way, but it's the fastest way in my opinion. All right, so the first thing I do is I pull that pec fin to the side and I grab it with my thumb. Now, mangroves have super thick scales, as you can see it and probably hear it. So what I do is you want to try to find the butt of the fish, and you want to angle your knife under the scales so you don't dull your knife by cutting into the scales. And you cut all the way down and all the way to the top of his head. Once you do that, what I like to do is go all the way to the backbone, bend your knife out, and angle down. Angle down, angle down, angle down. Once you get almost to the end of his tail, don't cut all the way through. You flip him over. If you flip it over, now you have a grip. So you don't have to hold on to the scales and the meat. You can hold on to the fish so you can descale him. And just like that, there's a filleted piece. Perfectly descaled. All the ribs are right in here that you cut away anyway. And I'll show you one more time on the back side. So here, like I said, start at the head, under the scales, and you go towards the butt. Remember, all of the ribs are right in here. It'll dull your knife and you're gonna get rid of it anyway. Turn them around, same thing. Cut all the way down to his spine. Your knife can't go any further. Once you get there, I put my hand on top of the fish and you'll angle your knife just like that. So it'll go right along that spine bone. Saw it, saw it, saw it. Just to the tail. Remember, don't cut all the way through. It's a pain in the butt. Turn them around. Grab onto the fish. Boom, you're done. Now everything's attached. You don't have to worry about throwing anything away in numerous bags. And you hear that? No more meat. It's that easy. All right, I'm gonna do it again because I know the first time looks kind of funny. So remember, scales on a mangrove snapper are super thick. You wanna angle your knife under them so you don't cut through them. Start at the butt and you're gonna angle your knife all the way to the top of his head. Once you get there, re-enter your knife and go all the way to the spine. It won't go anymore. And once you hit that, you want to angle your knife at a whatever angle that is, 20 degrees, 25 degrees. And you're going to saw along that spine bone. Angle your knife, saw it along that bone. Don't cut all the way through. Flip it over. Grab the fish, same angle, 20, 25 degrees, and just pull and push at the same time. Super easy. Hear that? Hear that? No meat left at all. All right, hope you guys got it. I'm gonna do the rest of these fish real quick, and then we're gonna start making some tacos. I'll show you the process to that. Now that you've got your fish filleted, we're going to clean them, make sure they've got no bones. Mangrove snapper have pin bones, which are very small bones right here in the middle. Excuse me. So what you want to do is cut a small V out of them. Just like that. There's one of those bones right there. And there's a whole bunch of little bones right in there. So we're left with a little space. Once you do that, we're going to make tacos, like I said. So you want to cut your fillets into whatever size portions you like. I like 2 inches long, 3 inches long. Just about like that. Show you guys one more time. Clean your fillet, make sure there's no scales on it. Remember, those pin bones are right here in the middle. And you cut your small little V out. Think. Throw that away. 2-inch pieces. Beautiful. There's no wrong way to do it. Whatever size pieces you like, do it. So now that we've got our fish filleted, cut up to the sizes that we want, it's dried off. Make sure your fish is dry. And all the scales are gone. You're warming up your pan. We've got a little bit of butter and a little bit of olive oil heating up to medium-high/high heat. I like my fish a little bit crispy. So what I like is Everglades fish and chicken. And I'm not particular about the way how I season fish. So you just give it a little spritz. Spritz, spritz, spritz. Mix it all up, mix it all up. Go again, one more time. Mix it, mix it, mix it. Come over here, make sure your pan's hot enough. I don't think that's hot enough, but let's see if we can hear it sizzle. Not bad. Needs to be a little bit hotter, but that's okay. So what I found out is that if you do 2 pans full of fish, it will feed 3 people. And we've got my wife who's behind the camera, and my amazing mother-in-law who's over there somewhere. And we are gonna make our fish tacos like we said, but we make them a little bit different. I like fish burritos, not these little tiny tacos that you get at these restaurants around town. So throw them in your pan, and now you gotta make sure they're all spread out even. Each piece of fish needs to get the same amount of cook time. It probably takes 3 minutes per side, 2.5, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. So when you're about halfway done on one side, you want to give your pan a shake. See how those 2 pieces right there, they're not moving? You do not want your fish to stick. It's the worst. Then you start flipping them over. See how they're already starting to fall apart? They are almost done. Give it probably 30 seconds to a minute on the other side, and they will be done. Alright, if you look real close, you can see some of the pieces are starting to fall apart. That means they are done. Take your spatula and you unstick them. Make sure they don't stick too bad to the pan. And you just dump the whole thing. And I'm not an expert chef, but no matter how hard you try, it'll always stick. So what you do before you redo that same process and do another pan full, you wash it off in the sink. While our second batch of fish is being cooked, I'm going to show you what we put in our taco burrito. So first layer is the rice, then we do our fish, guacamole the cheap way, guys. Get some avocados, mush them up, and then put a little bit of salsa in there. That is a Monroe thing.
I guess.
That is a Monroe thing. Then right here we've got yum yum sauce that you get at hibachi places. We make our own. And like I said, we like fish burritos. None of these little taco things. We like lots of fish. So we got the biggest tortillas they make. Typically we have diced mango, but we don't have any. Like I've said before, there's no rules in cooking. Just be you, like my wife says.
I'm Aubrey, I'm the wife. I like to warm up my tortillas, adds a little crunch. So I warm up my tortilla, start with some rice. I like to get it in there, make a nice little flat area. Okay, like we said, we really fill these things.
That's a lot of rice.
It's a lot of rice. We fill them up real full. Okay, and then I get my fish and I kind of lay them on my bed of rice. See how much I can fit in there. Likely, honestly, half of this is gonna fall out, so do that. Get some of our makeshift guac in here. Okay, I like a lot of guac. Get that. So depending on how big I make it, will decide how many I make. But yeah, get that in there. And then this is our yum yum sauce. If I had mangoes, like we do sometimes, I put the mangoes on next. And then I do a nice little yum yum sauce drizzle here. Okay, a little bit more. All right. That is, already tastes so good. So I'm gonna try and fold the back of this so I don't lose everything. And I just roll it up. Nice, kind of tight. Not the best roll, not the best taco roller. But look at that. That'll be a good bite. That first bite is gonna be nice. It's good. Lots of flavors, but they all coexist very nicely. Cheers.
All right, guys, that's it. We appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And who knows what we'll be doing next? Not a clue, but I am starving. Had an 8-hour trip today, and we left the dock at 5:45 to beat some weather that we had this afternoon. And I think this is the first bite of food I've had all day. I think, yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that. But all right, guys, appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.